That's how it works.
Hello and welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Oh, there's
Hello.
Ginger. Just like that. So before we even get anywhere, I apologize for Friday night, everybody. I'm on day number 5 of being sick. You can hear it. I can feel it. I'm glad this is not a very long one because I don't know if I could handle it. So we're just going to get through it, okay? Hello, Ginger. Hello, Dale and Lisa. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for coming in, you guys.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank
you.
Yes.
And
Thank you, everybody.
Happy anniversary, Joey and Ginger.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Years? How many years? How long?
29. We've been together 31, but we've been married 29 years. Yeah.
Congratulations.
You got me
Thank
and Patty
you.
by 1 year.
1 year, huh?
Yep.
Oh, we're the same as you, Tony. We're at 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Mud Mascara, Mimi's Dishes, Kettle Kitchen. I think I saw Stephanie said happy anniversary. Everybody, thank you very much for saying happy anniversary. You know, it's like retiring from a job. Do you think I could get any retirement benefits?
I think you'd be more qualified for putting up with Joey's crap benefits than you would retirement benefits.
I think
Look
you're
at all
right.
those great benefits. I mean,
Yes.
He shows you dual purpose
Yeah.
uses for your kitchen utilities.
Yeah.
Look
He's
at all the
building
work
me a
you're getting done out of pergola and the gardens.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Yes. The Lincoln log garden beds, the pergola he's currently working on. Yes.
Yep. So
yeah.
I want to run through and say hi to everybody in chat, which you guys have mentioned some of them, but I'll go ahead and run through them again. Big Valley Living. Thank you for joining us in chat, the first person today.
Yeah.
Mud and Mascara, welcome our friend. Thank you for coming in.
Yay.
Craig Sr., who is from Mouse Toes channel. Thank you for
well, hello, Craig.
We set a reminder so he knew when we were going live. So thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Our ever so dedicated and wonderful friend, Rhonda Mimi's Dishes. Thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
Stephanie has become one of our very good friends. I hope she's feeling better. She got the foot mouth thing. So she's dealing with that right now. So
oh my goodness.
Yes. And Renee, Pike Creek Farm, thank you for coming in.
Hello,
Rena LaRue, thank you for coming in. Wendy Benjamin, she's in Nova Scotia. I don't know if you guys even knew that, actually.
No, I didn't.
I did know that.
Yep.
And the purring lady said she and her husband are at 29 years this year, too. Yay! What's the 29-year club? Congratulations to y'all.
Teresa, thank you for coming in. Purring lady. 9 Acre Family Farms has finally joined us.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't be a party without them.
Yes. Suburban Hillbilly, thank you for coming in. The Organized Pineapple. Hello, our long lost friend.
Hello.
Thank you for coming
the most
in.
organized pineapple on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes.
She is. If you have any questions about organization, that's the channel. At least to my recollection, that's the channel to go look to. So
yes.
I always call her, if you ever see me say hi to TOP, that's who I'm talking to, is
Okay.
the organized pineapple. So
T.O.P. Yo.
Mhm.
TOP is in the house.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. Oh, and then the other thing that goes along with Friday was supposed to, because we had moved it from the previous Friday, we were supposed to do our pantry catch $5 challenge catch up. We're going to do that next Friday. I don't have the wherewithal to sit here and go through all of that right now. My brain probably would be all over the place. So
Mhm.
we will do that on the 31st. So that's next Friday. We'll try to hit that if we can. And then don't forget, this Tuesday is the finale of game nights, Remembering Music. So be interesting.
Is he gonna bring it out?
Oh, you know he is. So I'll run through it real quick. The members joining us for the finals are Tom Garvey, the keto cook. Wendy, Hard Knack Farms, Ginger and Joey from Not for Nothing Homestead, and I'm gonna go. I got to give this to him. Sorry, Ginger.
That's okay.
The reigning trophy holder, 9 Acre Family Farm, Dale and Lisa. Those are your teams that will be playing against each other. So that'll be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do join us if you're interested and want to see how it goes.
They deserve that trophy. They won the SmackDown, which was a separate challenge than the Remember the Music.
Yes, it was. So. Yes. So technically, I can retract that. It's not the reigning trophy holders for Remember the Music, but they are the reigning trophy holders for the SmackDown.
The SmackDown, the Music SmackDown. That's right.
Yes.
Hopefully, I can do better than my K-State Wildcats did yesterday,
or my Gonzaga Bulldogs, who ate Dookie last night. That's all I got.
That was a disappointing day, wasn't it? Just all around.
Yeah.
So the next game night will be Tuesday night. That's the playoff we were just talking about. The following week, though, we're going to have a chat night.
That was fun last time.
Yes. So in the playoffs that you guys are going up for on Tuesday night, the winning team, Joey and Ginger, Dale and Lisa, you guys will be, I think what I'm going to do is whichever team wins, I'm just going to give them a $50 Amazon gift card, because the way I set it up was $25 per, like Dale would get 25, Lisa would get 25, but that's not fair to Wendy, who's one person, or to Tom, who's one person. So I think I'm just going to make it just a flat $50 Amazon gift card. That way everybody gets the same amount regardless of how many are helping them.
Okay.
So, okay. And then on the following week, when we do the chat night, that will be a $25 gift card to the chat contestant that wins, with the help from the panel contestants.
And who are you getting to help?
I thought I'd find some vagrants just hanging out in the alleys and, kind of bumming around, see if they could come in and help me,
Okay, I'm just asking.
It would be people like yourself, my friend.
No, they're all going to want Dale as a partner.
Yeah, well, they can't all have Dale as a partner. So
it's true. That's true.
Anyway, so we've been here yammering for 9 minutes now, so we'll move on. This afternoon, we're talking on our functioning chat conversation. We've been talking about items not to forget for your pantry, things you should be storing. And last week we talked about aging in your pantry and how you should adjust for changes in family sizes, conditions, situations that come up. This week we're going to talk about medicinal/medicine items that need to be put in your pantry, or don't forget those items. Okay. I have a huge list, so I would be more interested to see what the three of you guys have to offer and then I'll throw mine out if it duplicates it. No big deal. That way I don't feel like I'm taking your guys' thunder for what you did your homework on. So,
Hey, Deb R. Hey, Don Ray B.
yes,
Oh.
Finger. Can I help you,
Dell
Finger?
wants to go first.
No,
Dell
I'm
wants
saying
to go
Ginger
first.
wants to go first.
Michelle wants to go first. So
Michelle
we'll
wants
let
to go
Michelle.
first.
All right, Michelle.
Because I got myself a big old list here.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring you up.
Magnified.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
And most of these things are actually somewhere, somehow or another in our house. I think that there are some pretty common things. I don't really want to have to go too crazy on that, like isopropyl. I don't know if that's how you say it. Alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. You know, some of the basics. Baking soda. I think we all need.
That's a good idea.
Yep, because it has, you know, you can make a paste for if you have a bee sting or you have something itching. Brings tiny splinters to the surface. And if you have a stomach upset, it acts as an antacid if you add it to water. So multi-use, and you can clean with it, and you can unclog your drains with that and vinegar and hot water. So go to Costco, folks. So tweezers are on my list. However, I think that beyond that, because they're kind of big, and if you have like something real small that you need to remove from your skin, 1 or 2 really small needles and like from your sewing kit and matches to sterilize those needles before putting them into your skin.
Yep.
This will sound funny, but I can show you that it works. Gauze and tape. However, duct tape also. I'm not going to hold my hand up that way, but my middle finger has a little scar on it. Yeah. And I actually was cutting up a pumpkin, and the knife was a little bit too slippery because I hadn't rinsed it off. And I sliced off a big old piece of skin, but it was still hanging on.
Oh.
So I cleaned it out real well. This was 22 years ago. I cleaned it out really, really well and irrigated it, and I put gauze on it, and it was late. And honestly, I didn't want to go to the emergency room and sit there for hours.
Right.
So I wrapped it up and put duct tape on it, and then I kept cleaning it every day, and it almost looks better than had I had stitches, you know?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know it. I mean, to
if
look
I
at
didn't
it.
put it out.
Yeah.
So I'm a believer in duct tape. Don't do it at home if it makes you nervous. There's an over-the-counter pain relief medicine called AZO. And if you are a lady, and well, you could be a guy, I suppose. I've just never known any to have this. If you have a bladder infection, it will reduce the pain right away, and probably allowing you to be able to drink more water and flush your system. So keep that on hand, just a little bit. Come tablets. Neosporin, extra prescription medicines. If you're diabetic, test strips and an extra battery for your reader, your meter.
Yep.
Make sure that you can test your blood if you need that. And then I'm sure that you guys are going to have some of these, so I'm just going to stop with the last one, and that is vitamins A, B complexes, C, D, and E. And that's especially if your food supply runs low or you can't get outside to get sunshine or something. Those vitamins might be able to help replace some of the vitamins that you're not getting.
That's a great idea. That is. So I want to make sure I didn't miss any up here above. I don't think I did. Oh, hello, Unmanned Urban Homestead. Thank you for coming in. They're talking. I'm just going to list. I'm not going to say who said it. I'm just going to list the other things that were added, and some things have been said. Big bags of baking soda needles. We have an extra large blue for medical tote filled with all the things first aid and medical. Tick removers. That's something we don't typically think about, I would assume, but you may need it, and depending on where you're at, you may consider. We were having the conversation about chiggers the other day. If that's not something that's in your area, you're not going to worry about it. But if it is in your area, you need to consider those types of things that would help, take care of those that you wouldn't maybe have in your setup. Sorry, I'm trying to read and my head is pounding right now.
Can you use Vaseline? I don't know if this is true or not, because fortunately I dealt with ticks very well. But can you use Vaseline to smother them? Or I've heard of people burning their little buns and then unscrewing them. Is that a thing?
The best thing is to take the bottle of alcohol or alcohol on a Q-tip and continuously go around it, or actually, if it will fit, put the bottle on the tick inside the bottle.
Oh, okay.
Completely drowned it.
Right.
Back out.
And it'll usually back out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I think the important thing to remember with those, last thing I want to hear anybody doing is sticking a lighter on their skin to get a tick out.
Exactly.
No. I'm not saying you meant that. That's what my brain envisioned. So I just wanted to say that.
Well, then you need that vitamin E for the burn cream.
Yes. So, but
Is that
have
a booger
heard.
sucker?
No, that's a dog ball.
What?
No, it was a dog ball.
But I'm glad you said that, because the booger sucker actually would be a good first aid item to hold, because you never know what you could use it for. Okay.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Are you going to get the tick out with the booger sucker?
Yeah.
After you drown him?
One thing in.
Yes.
Some sort of a natural health thing that will help.
That was mine. Michelle.
Anyway, I do want to say Suburban Hillbilly says AZO is amazing. Purring Lady says vitamin D is very important for those of us in northern U.S., especially dealing with 6 months of winter. Pet meds, don't forget your pet meds.
Yeah.
But Rhonda did say don't forget, or do remember, AZO will stain because urine will be orange.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
And don't freak out.
Yeah. And don't freak out. Yeah.
Because, some of us who didn't know that, who took that before, went, what's happening to me right now?
You just thought the red was leaving from your hair.
Yeah. I did. Thanks, Dale.
Rena said vitamin E is awesome for burns, which we've already talked about, but pop the capsules with a pin, squeeze it out onto the burn, and cover it with gauze.
Yep.
So there you go. Gauze and tape, Stephanie says. Smothering and burning for chick removal, Don Ray B says, has never worked for her. But that's what I've always heard, is you want to smother it, not necessarily burn it. You want to burn it once it's out so it doesn't go anywhere, but not.
Right. Because let me tell you something. They're like a cat. They have 9 lives.
Yes. Yeah.
You take a tick off of a dog and you set it on the counter. You look back 2 minutes later, it's gone.
No.
I promise you. Yes. You have to, I take a knife and cut them in half.
Wow.
Literally. When I take them, like if I found someone Rainy or Misty, we would take them and cut them in half, because they'll play dead for a little while.
That. Yep.
Yes. And then all of a sudden they're up and moving and you're like, wait, what? I thought I smushed you. No.
Whoa, boy.
Yeah.
So here's something for you, Ginger. Did you see what Rhonda said? Always put clear nail polish over chigger bites. It smothers them. I
tried that, and my legs were literally covered. I used like half a bottle of red, what is that? Redken? Revlon clear nail polish on my legs. And to an extent it helped, but it's the itching that drives you insane. It's like no-see-ums. When they get on you, it's like you can't see and you don't know, but all of a sudden welts just start popping up everywhere. And if you go in and think, oh, well, I'm going to go take a really hot shower, and all that does is bring them to the surface more, and they love heat. That's why they flourish in the summer. In the spring and the fall is when they flourish, but the summer too. But yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask everybody in chat if you just hold off, because I know all of us have done a lot of stuff. So if after I give out my list, you can think of things, that would be great, because I think we're gonna repeat ourselves is what's gonna inevitably start to happen. So let's go with Dale and Lisa. What do you have to show for us today?
So I'm afraid we're going to start stealing some thunder from Ginger, because
your yard's completely full of first aid stuff.
Yeah, your yard, your area around you is plumb full of first aid stuff, and you can be drying or putting those up in your pantry.
Yep.
Just a few things.
Broadleaf plantain. It's good you can apply it to wounds, stings, and sores, and it will reduce the pain and prevent infection.
Okay.
Dandelions. Ginger knows all about those. Chickweed. It helps with constipation, stomach problems, breathing problems. Buckeye. Dale was looking it up, and it's good for hemorrhoids and stuff like that.
Bowel pain, colic, vertigo, all that. And then we're not even mentioning things like mullein.
Yep.
Mullein is a great medicinal plant that can be used to help with congestion, lung problems, pneumonia, things along that line.
And things you have up in your cabinet: turmeric, ginger, honey, thyme. Those are all good.
Almost all herbs have a medicinal purpose to them. And then, Tony, if you'll put up that I shared, if you want to do your own research on any of this little website right here is very helpful. It's Henrietta's Herbal homepage, and you can go by your region or your state and look what natural medicinal plants there are growing in your regions. So one thing I do want to throw out, and this isn't anything towards anybody else, I just want to make the statement. None of us are professionals. We're not claiming to be professionals. Do your own homework. We're just giving you ideas, locations, and resources you can go to, and maybe jog your brain to remember things. Okay. Yeah. I noticed somebody said purple dead nettle, things. See you later, John Ray. But
did anyone say super glue?
No one has said super glue yet. That is something we keep on hand at all time.
Yep.
It goes along with the duct tape, because with kiddos, we have fixed, and we can go ahead and quit sharing that. We have fixed.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
We have fixed lots of minor cuts and things that normally you would go to emergency room. It's a flesh wound.
As a matter of fact, we took Braden to the emergency room one time because he had to cut his eye right here.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did was super glue it.
Right.
Literally, that's all they did. Yep. They flushed it and super glued it, and then
you can do that at home.
Sent us a $5,000 bill for it.
Yep. Of course.
Yep. So I'm not telling you to do it, but I know here at our house we have used super glue to fix wounds ourselves. Now,
yes,
if I got a gusser, there ain't no way that super glue
no,
to fix it. But a paper cut, and you can't get a Band-Aid to hold it together. A little super glue in my house is not going to hurt anybody. So,
so like for us, we kind of look at it on the standpoint of, what if something happens and you can't get to medical care?
Right.
Is what the way we're looking, or God forbid something's happened and medical care isn't even an option anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because if a tornado comes through, they're not going to, and knocks trees down, they're not going to be able to get to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's something that just happened in areas of this country just
Yes.
recently.
Within the last 2 days.
And I
Yes.
understand your house may be blown away from your pantry, but if you keep in mind those kind of things, you can find it in that disaster area too.
Right.
You know.
Well, and theoretically, I would almost, me personally, I would treat super glue as a medical supply, which would be in its own specific area to go with me where I go. It would be right next to my paperwork that I'm taking with me as well. Okay. But that's me. I mean, anybody can do
in
what
a
they
tornado,
want.
that's really not an option.
But it could be though, because most
it could
people,
be if you have a shelter.
Right. That's what I'm referring
But
to.
you
I
take
know
like
not
us
everybody
here,
does, and I get
we don't
that.
have a shelter.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it, guys?
That's kind of what we prepared for today.
All right. Well, thank you.
We could go on and
let
on, but
Ginger go or
do your own
Tony.
research.
Michelle, I didn't say it, but thank you for your information as well.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, all the stuff she mentioned we had on our list too.
Right, and I have some of it on mine as well, so
Yeah.
I'll repeat it, but I don't care. Ginger,
Yes.
what would you like to
Add to the
funnel
list.
into the conversation?
So I'm the person that likes to tell you to stock your library, your home library, with everything that you need.
Right.
So one thing that a very, very dear friend gave to me with side notes in it, which is awesome when somebody goes ahead and makes those necessary notes, is this book, Medicinal Herbs.
Nice.
So this is an awesome book you can make, and this wasn't part of it, but the barter that I did with Tiffany was for elderberry syrup, and this in here tells you how to make elderberry syrup. And there's, oh my gosh, there's so much more stuff in here. They have so much information on stuff you can grow in your garden.
Right.
Like Dale and Lisa were saying, don't forget to grow those things, or go outside and just look in your yard. The other thing I would say is, one of the biggest things is get yourself an aloe plant. Aloe is good for so much. And even if it dies over the summer, go get yourself another aloe plant, or just wait a little bit and it might rebirth itself. Sometimes they do that. The other thing that goes along with your medicinal herb books and your library is your own medical binder.
That's
so make a binder with your family in it. And to what Tony said, I'm not sure who said it about the pets. You could even add a section in the back for the pets. Who is your vet? Who is, when have they had their last shots? If your dogs are like my dogs, she always chews her rabies tag right off of her collar. How does she do that? I don't know. Either she chews it off or she scratches it off, and then I can't find it, and I have no proof if somebody sees her that she's had her rabies shot, except for the paperwork, which I can't get my hands on right that second. If you put it all in a binder along with your information and your information and your information, what has happened to you, what medications are you on, if somebody can get to that binder, provided everybody has the wherewithal to keep it updated and keep everything flowing nicely, then you can have all your information right there at your fingertips. If I, God forbid, passed out or had a heart attack or something, Joey could just run to that binder and say, okay, this is what medications she takes daily, this is what she takes monthly, or what have you. And this is her family history, so to speak. So you don't have to ask me all these questions, people, while I'm freaking out.
That's a really good idea, Ginger. That is a great idea.
It is, because not always are we going to be the ones that are going to be there to facilitate the medical need. And if Joey's not the one doing it and Ginger's sick, he can go to that book and say, here's what her allergies were. Here's what she can't take. Here's what I got on hand. let's go get it, and then we can, if we can, reach medical assistance, at that point. So I think
I'm going to say to that, I mean, Joey is, my older brother has passed away now. He had a stroke oh my gosh, it's been 7 years ago now. He had a stroke, and we were about to go on. Everybody was going to get together at a restaurant for his birthday, and the morning we were going to go, my mom had called us and said, I can't get a hold of Danny, and could y'all swing over there and see if you can get a hold of him? So we had a key to Danny's house to house sit when he was gone, and Joey went in, and Joey's actually the one that found him. He had the stroke like the night before and was on the floor. It was an awful situation, but Joey was calling 911, and then he's trying to talk to Danny, who was like barely even there. And they're saying, what medication is he on? How old is he? What's this? They're trying to get all this information. Joey's like, I don't know.
Yep.
So
if you take that example and you put that into play, just having it available in any day given situation probably is not a dumb idea. But I wouldn't leave it out so everybody has access to it, but I would make everybody in the house aware of where it's at if needed. Yeah. So
thank you, Suburban Hillbilly. But yeah, I want to say, Joey, in true fashion, when things are really serious and tense and everybody's freaking out, my son was actually working at the 911 call center at the time that happened, and Joey was calling 911. I don't think if I remember right, I don't think RJ was on that day, but I think he listened to the tape later on because, of course, they asked, how much does he weigh? And Joey had to pull him out from beside he was wedged, so he had to pull him out to an open area, make sure he keep his head elevated. They were telling him, and then they were like, how much does he weigh? And so Joey asked Danny, Danny, how much do you weigh? And he was like, oh, about 180. And Joey said in the 911 call, oh, you're 250 if you're a buck. I was like, are you kidding me right now? He said, I was trying to keep the mood light. I mean, it was like, everybody was freaking out, and, but yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right.
He didn't mean anything by it for sure. But Danny was not 180 pounds. That was maybe 5 years before.
Okay. So let me go through my list real quick, and then we'll hit chat and see what's in there. So mine I'm going to bring up. Items to remember for your pantry storage list. Again, we may be repeating this. People may have already said it. It may be in chat, but it's what I put together as far as what I can come up with. Now, I'm going to pull this down just for a second. One thing I was going to tell you guys when Michelle was talking about bee stings. We use Sensodyne Rapid Repair toothpaste. Okay. It has an anesthetic in it. We use it for bee stings.
Yeah.
So that's because it has the anesthetic in it. It cools. It doesn't work on every bee sting, but majority of the typical bee stings. We went camping in one whole trip when we were out for 2 weeks. 12 of the 15 people that went got stung by bees. We went through 2 tubes of the Sensodyne bee sting for a paste, and everybody said it got rid of their bee sting issue. The pain and the
so it's relief. Sensodyne Rapid Repair toothpaste.
Yes. And you want to make sure, I think that's what it's called. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you want to make sure it's the one that has the anesthetic in it. Okay. Because that's what's helping it. So I'm just throwing it out there as another additional possible. We use it. It works for us majority of the time. The kids love it. It's the first thing they ask for if they get stung by a bee. So, I mean, obviously they think it works. So,
yeah. A wet cigarette helps too, Mud Mascara said. Hey,
and I've heard that too. So,
yes.
I'm stuck on chat, just so everybody knows. I'm intentionally not answering because I want to make sure I hit these other comments that are put when I come back to it. No, that was not to you. I'm letting everybody know I'm not hitting every one of the comments for a reason. So things to remember for your pantry storage list. Adhesive bandages. Make sure you're getting various sizes. Don't get just one standard band-aid because you are going to have multiple situations that come up. Liquid bandage, we've already talked about that. I'm not going to go into it, but don't forget liquid bandage because it may apply. Ace bandages, okay? Antibiotic ointments and or antiseptic wipes or spray. I would do both if you have the option to. Hydrocortisone ointments, sterile gauze in rolls and pads, cold compress, have instant ones available, also your reusable ones in the freezer. Calamine lotion, rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, sterile saline solution. Now, a lot of people don't understand you want that sterile saline if you're cleaning a wound out that you can't get to a hospital or a medical facility. Hand sanitizing gel, people got their issues with it, for it, against it. I don't care. I'm just throwing it out there as a suggestion. Eye wash solution. If you're going to get the solution, make sure you get the cup. It would make life so much easier if you need to use it, okay? Sunscreen, at least SPF 15, depending on your respective situation, because, like, I can use a 15, but Isaiah's got to use a 30 or higher. It's just your skin complexion and your need for a higher level if necessary. Sunburn relief ointment, cotton balls, cotton swabs, disposable medical gloves. Thermometer, get one appropriate for age of user. And if you have children, now I will go back and look real quick. I don't see it there. I'll come back to that in a second, but make sure it's age appropriate. Don't get an infant thermometer for an adult. Okay. Bulb syringe, medical dosage spoons, blunt type scissors.
That's called a booger sucker.
Booger sucker. There you go.
I was going to say, and make sure you don't switch those thermometers back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could go so many directions with that, but I'm going to move on. Tweezers, which we've talked about, fine needles for helping remove small splinters or other things, because you could get metal shavings. You could get,
Glass.
Glass is a good one I didn't even think about. So
yeah, that's hard to find.
Save a tooth system. What this means is if you got a tooth that is breaking or falling apart, you can get something to help you at least, hopefully, long enough to get you to a dentist. It depends on what the situation is, and we don't know what the situation would be, but it is something to consider. Acetaminophen, ibuprofen, fever and pain reducers. Okay, here's what I was looking for. So if you see it, fever and pain reducers is an asterisk at the end of it. Each one of these with asterisk means you need to do it for all levels of ages within your house. So we have to get one that's up to 10 or up to 12, which would be for Isaiah. We'd have to get one for Jaden because she's still a minor, but not an adult. And then we need them for the adults as well. The other thing to take into consideration is anybody suffering from blood pressure issues. You have to make sure that your medication is adequate for that. Okay. Cold and flu medicine, I'm not going to buy normal. I'm going to personally get the kind that's good for blood pressure issues because I have a blood pressure issue. So, antacids, nausea medications, anti-diarrhea medications, oral electrolyte solutions such as Pedialyte. I'm just throwing that out as an example. I don't know if anybody else knows of another kind, but that's the one I go to in my brain. Can you guys think of a different one? No? Okay. Gatorade would be another one, wouldn't it? Because it's got electrolytes in it.
Yeah, it does, but Pedialyte's much better for you.
It is much better, but if you have no choice, it's an alternative, I guess.
Yeah. If you don't have a choice, then either Gatorade or what's the other one? There's another sports drink that has electrolytes. Yes, Powerade.
Yeah.
I think Powerade has more sugar.
Yes.
And always remember, you don't have to have the pre-made bottle. They
No.
actually sell all of it in a small powder pack that you can vacuum seal and then store away, and it'll last for.
That's a great idea, Dale. I didn't even think of it, and you are correct. So
yes, and Cindy Brown just said it.
Mild laxatives, antihistamines, cold and or flu, over-the-counter medications. Did I see your hand go up, Michelle?
See, I'm muting myself, so I can't jump in.
Okay, you're fine.
Raising my hand. There's a tea called Smooth Move. If you don't want to keep a laxative around, and it's very effective if you can find it. And
what a good name!
Smooth Move, I know, right?
Wow.
But it's actually it's just a good alternative, and it doesn't have a shelf life like maybe something in a bottle would have. That's all.
Okay, that's a good idea. So also make sure you have prescription medicines on hand, only for members of the family with prescriptions, obviously. And this kind of ties back into what Ginger brought up. I think this is where you want to make sure you have a list of those things so that if you ever need to, you can refer to that person's medication list and provide it to somebody if they need it. First aid instructions booklet. I think as much as I thought to myself, well, that seems redundant, it isn't if you get somebody getting to it that has no clue what they're doing, and that for that reason in itself, it makes it fully worth having it on hand if you can. Notification of any family members with allergies in case emergency personnel need to come to assist. That's not something I really would have thought of, but I think it's a valid point, because if you're, again, in Ginger's situation, she explained with Joey and her brother, if he had an allergy, it would have been nice to be able to explain that to them so they knew that ahead of time. And then contact information for your family, Dr. Dennis, emergency contact numbers for family members, work cell, and you can fill out this emergency contact list printable from the site if you want to, which I didn't list the site because I think a lot of this is generic information. But I think we all get the point. I mean, there's a ton of different things that, yes, you can put a first aid kit together, but has that first aid kit included everything? That's where we run into problems, you know. No, you're not going to open a pharmacy with the things you have, but it's nice to know you got them if you need them. Yes.
Did you say eye wash?
I said eye wash with the cup. Make sure if you're going to do the eye wash, you get the cup that goes with it. Yes.
That, and something a pharmacist, or I'm sorry, not a pharmacist, an eye doctor told me once, is that clear eyes is one of the best things. I know there's another name brand out there that's really big that starts with a V, but that has a lot of alcohol in it. Which almost irritates and makes the situation worse.
Yep.
So I wear contacts. Sometimes I have eye irritation. I will buy clear eyes because that really is the best thing. That and a good eye wash is something I always have in my medicine cabinet.
Every time I hear clear eye, all I think of is Bueller. Anyone? Bueller. Sorry.
I have another thing that nobody mentioned, so I wanted to wait, and that is in case, like, you know, you get like some nose irritation or you have allergies and you don't have allergy medication, have either a neti pot or they have machines that can do it for you called Navage. That's the main one. And make sure that you also have plenty of the sinus rinse packets, and also know that you have to use distilled water. You can't use water out of your faucet because you could actually get a really, really bad infection in your brain and in your head. So I would keep distilled water on hand for stuff like that because it is, you know, it's been distilled.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that goes along with that too, I mean, your personal living situation is better.
Yeah.
But you also have machine conditions as well. Some of those machines break down if they're used with regular tap water, you know, so trying to get the longest life out of your equipment as well
Right.
Following exactly what the instructions are important. So,
but it's a healthy way also to just rinse your after you've been out in the garden and you have pollen and stuff. It keeps me from having to buy any of those rinses or any of that stuff. It's so much easier.
Cool. So now I'm done with my list. So I'm going to come back and hit the chat since I've stayed away from it. Debar said wild lettuce tea is great for pain relief, not recommended after a recent surgery. Scissors we did talk about. Instant cold compresses we talked about. Teresa brought up feminine napkins and tampons for wounds. That is not a stupid idea. There might be guys out there that are like, hey, no way, I was taking it. I got news for you. If I got a cut, I can't stop bleeding. I will put a tampon on it. I don't care. I will put a shirt on it. I will put dirty underwear at that point if I'm trying to stop a bleed that I can't get stopped and I can't get the help I need. I wasn't trying to be gross. I'm just throwing it out there. Sorry.
No, but I think a person needs to wrap their head around when you start talking about life-saving things, measures, you have to be willing to do things like that. I had a friend that anhydrous ammonia, which most people, if they're not in farming, don't know what that is. That is a fertilizer, but it was originally designed as chemical warfare.
Right.
If you inhale it, you will die almost instantaneously. But if it gets on your skin, it takes all the moisture completely out of your skin. I had a friend that an accident happened, and he had the presence of mind at least to go to his service truck and open the diesel fuel nozzle and flush it off with that. They said that was probably the only thing that saved him.
Wow.
Because at least he knew covering himself in diesel wasn't good, but it was way better than what was actually got on him, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it had the capabilities to rinse that off of him.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, and it's not even really the rinse it off it. It's the effect it has on you because it's still going to be there, but the concentrated version's no longer there by itself. It's got something introduced into
exactly.
it. So,
okay.
Yeah. But it does come down. Dale and Ginger both started on that. We're not talking about, I cut myself with a steak knife. I can go to the emergency room and get a stitch. We're talking about you are in your house, something happens, and just like she said, or was it one of you guys said something that took 4 hours? Oh, that was in a conversation we had earlier. It took 4 hours for the cops to show up to a situation. Well, what if that's the emergency room or the ambulance or EMTs because they're out on 3 different calls? You got to do what you got to do. And I am here to tell you, in my house, if you're in my house and I'm trying to stop the bleeding, I'm going to grab a curtain. I'm going to grab a blanket. I'm going to grab whatever I can to stop it from happening. That's what's going to happen. So
I can see Rhonda shoving a tampon up somebody's nose. She said tampons for nosebleeds.
Wouldn't she? Yeah, she would. Yeah. So moving through the rest of the comments here. Wound wrap for animals that you buy at a feed store is exactly the same thing they use at a hospital. They call it wound wrap. Okay. Now, I also have been told by military personnel that some of the original medical kits used in World War II is effectively the same thing as what was in the first tampons used for women because of the absorbency. When they would run out, they would go and grab those if they needed to stop the bleeding. Again, we're back to the same thing. In an emergency situation, you're going to do what you need to do. So, whiskey has a mouthwash for an abscessed tooth. I'm trying to catch anybody that threw an idea out or a hint. Seeker, thank you for coming in. I didn't see him come in. Medical alert bracelets. If you have access to them and you have a need for them, do consider having one or a necklace. One of the two. Did you see what Rhonda said about taking the rabies picture on your phone so you have it? Ginger?
Taking the what?
The rabies picture on your phone so you have it.
Oh no. I mean, I've got too many YouTube videos in my phone for that storage. Rhonda, that's what I used to remember we went over this. My YouTube takes up all my storage. I'm kidding. No, I mean, I'm not
Dark Minute
kidding.
just
But
realized he has a wrench. He just figured that out.
who did?
Dark Lord Minute.
Oh, now
Okay.
Cindy Brown did ask if anybody mentioned Vaseline. Vaseline is very good for a lot of things, and A&D ointment.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to tell you that my daughter was the worst for diaper rash. And at that time, what was the white one? Desitin. Oh my gosh. I used to lather the Desitin on her. Oh, this is the best money can buy. It's got to work the best. No, when it was like flaming and I could not get it to stop, I took him to the doctor, and the pediatrician was so wonderful. And he said, don't put that on her anymore. Use A&D ointment. It's like a barrier, like Vaseline, only it's a little bit stronger. And anything, any urine in the diaper when she pees, it won't get on those, and immediately she starts screaming again. Because basically she was running around naked for like 3 days, which didn't bother her. I don't think. She was like 6 months old. They don't care.
You know which one of those I preferred?
What?
Monkey butt. That stuff was great.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people really like that. It's newer. Yeah. And somebody else, and this was quite a while ago, Tony, somebody had mentioned whiskey. Definitely have some whiskey on hand.
Yeah, I already mentioned that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Where was
I? I don't know.
Is that for the Medicator or for the Medicator E?
Multi-use thing to have.
We actually soak our seeds in a little whiskey before we plant them sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, works great.
That's cool. Non-coated aspirin. I did see it. Okay. Think about that, because not everybody can ingest the same stuff that everybody else can. So you want to make sure you've accommodated those differences like that. Okay.
It is so hard to find uncoated aspirin. Really is.
It is. No, I get it.
It is. I mean, you literally have to order it on Amazon. I mean, maybe it's just our Walmart, but yes, that is right. That is true. But everything is coated now with something so that it doesn't stick in your esophagus, to the wall of your esophagus, because that's what happens with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yep. And I seen, where was the other one? Drag a credit card across the bee stings to remove the stingers.
Dark Lord Minute said dollar store for uncoated aspirin. Well, why didn't I think of that? Jeez. Okay. I'm going to the dollar store tomorrow, see if I can find it. And I bet you're right. If anybody's going to know, Dark Lord Minute is, because he's got like 35 people he's looking after.
Yeah. Just a friendly drop there again one more time. I want everybody to know Dark Lord Minute is now a content creator. He has his first video up.
He does.
Yeah. You need to go watch after this.
Yes.
Congratulations.
$1.25 tree has it. She said. I like how she wrote that, Cindy Brown. She wrote, Ginger, no, just get the generic $sign and $1.25 tree has it.
Yep.
That's funny.
We must be in a real poor area, because ours is still just called Dollar Tree.
But is everything still a dollar there? It can't be.
Yeah, it's called Dollar Tree, but it's not anymore.
Yeah, ours is too, but it's gone up to $1.25. Not that that's a bad price for what you get in there. I mean, I got pink Himalayan salt in there for $1.25. Yes, and it was like a 16-ounce jug.
Wow.
Yeah, for $1.25, and it wasn't like an off-brand. It was like an I can't even remember what the name brand was, but it was one of those fancy bottles. They must have bought it when it was clearing out or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a
I
good
don't
thing.
care.
to know.
I got the good deal, right? I don't care what they sell it for.
Yeah.
I've got too many to catch up with, guys. So if I miss something, stop. Sorry, my dog's going weird.
The one thing that I'd seen mentioned several times, Tony, was the CPR class.
Yes.
Are going and taking, and I think, yeah, I agree. That's one thing. I know I don't mention my work very often on YouTube, but that's one thing that I suggest to all my students that are going in a mechanical field, that they all take a CPR class.
Yep.
Because a lot of these guys are stuck out in the middle of a field, away from medical help, everything, and it's something that could be very beneficial.
Yes, I agree.
And then there was a new, new to me, Joan Kelly, I think was her name. Yeah, Joan Kelly said that she used Crisco for diaper rash.
Oh, wow.
I have heard
of that.
Yeah. Never tried it, but I've heard of it.
And that's old school, because Crisco comes in that big, huge tin, and that would almost be just like A&D ointment too. Now, I saw a comment from 6 Acre Farms, I think. I don't know where it originated. It may have originated from her, and she was conversing back and forth. What is bag balm?
Bag balm is used.
You don't know what tiger bag balm is?
Oh, I know what tiger balm is.
Not tiger balm. Bag balm is used in the dairy industry originally, and what it was to help the irritation and everything on the chafing on milk cows' udders.
Yeah.
And it's great for your hands. Well, my dad, going through his cancer treatments and everything, his chemo really, really, really dried him out. That's the only thing he could use that would fix that problem. Yeah, some people call it udder butter.
I have the udder butter. I have the udder cream for my hands and feet as well. It's really helpful.
And where is that, at the feed store?
Usually farm supply stores.
Like a cow. The tube looks like a little cow. But I have also been using this lately, because I can put it on my hands and do a lot of different. If I have to wash my hands several times, at least there's still a little bit left every time. So it's good stuff.
So I've seen a ton of people come in. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but I do want to catch the ones I can catch up with. Vineyard Farmhouse, Brian, thank you for coming in. Laurie Prepping for Heaven is in. Cindy Brown, I know you guys have said she's in here. I just wanted to make sure. Linda, 6 Acre Farm. Helena is in with us. I'm going to start making noise. I can. Joan Kelly, Jasper Pudding Face, thank you. Boy, there's a lot. I should remind me never to pause on comments. Okay.
Yes, it's hard. The purring lady said Vaseline smeared on a cotton ball. Now, this is a while back. Vaseline smeared on a cotton ball can help start a fire.
Yeah.
I know that, because it's petroleum.
And get yourself,
that makes so much sense. But to think of it, if somebody didn't tell you to think of it, I guess it would be a stretch sometimes, because of what you're used to using. You put it in a box, basically, but you can go outside that box with it. That's awesome.
Right. Carlene is in with us. I think I got, of course, then it jumps, 20 feet. Dirt Road Destiny. Am I missing anybody you guys can think of?
Just start on everybody a while back. Waves waves the wrench thing at Ginger. This thingy.
Yes.
Good
So
for you,
the whole
Dark
point,
Lord.
though, is, guys, really is just, it really goes to with what you just said. Think outside the box. Think of the things you're not thinking about. Here's another thing: popsicle sticks
As a splint.
as a splint if needed.
Yes.
Yep. Here's what I did. I went and spent money. I did it for a different reason, but I was secondarily glad I did because of medical reasons. Okay. Never knowing about medical reasons. Some of the best investments I ever made was these things right here.
And I'm going to tell you, you can buy a cheap set of those.
Like that.
Yeah, and those bent tweezers.
Yep.
You can buy those forceps and those small, grab tools.
Right.
You can go to Harbor Freight and buy those for nickels on a dollar.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Put a set of those in your medical kit, and at least you have something,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So slather a bunch of cotton balls with Vaseline, keep them in a Ziploc bag Ziploc bag to light a fire. Don't forget to keep wooden matches. There's another thing we didn't talk about was wooden matches.
Make sure they're strike on anywhere.
Yep. Snap on needle nose pliers.
Yes, you can.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't mention it, but do your own research, everything.
Yes.
There are plenty of other medicines, things along that line that can be used in an emergency that you may find at a Tractor Supply store or your veterinarian or something along that line.
You have school tomorrow.
In a medical emergency, most of that's rooted in the same medicine.
Yes. Yes. And you're going to use what you can get a hold of readily.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. All right. Anything else important that we need to throw out there, or do you think we've hit it?
Did you mention an antiemetic at all? Something to keep you from throwing up specifically?
Oh,
no.
There's a medicine called Emitrol that used to be over the counter.
Mm-hmm.
It is extremely effective. So as long as you're not trying to get somebody to get something out of their stomach,
right?
If they're vomiting and they can't stop, it will stop the vomiting, and then they could get some liquids in them to help.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Swiss Army knife. Somebody did.
Dramamine.
Linda brought Dramamine. That's another one. That's a good idea too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Try shopping for Dramamine when you are having vertigo.
Yeah. You know what? Go to Costco and get Meclizine over the counter. It's way cheaper than Dramamine, and it's the same thing.
Meclizine.
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 Meclizine. It's
Epicac was mentioned. Cindy Brown said.
Yes, Epicac. Mm-hmm.
Activated charcoal.
Yep.
Yep.
And you may need that even if you call 911, they may say, "Do you have that in your house?"
Right.
And it would be good to know that you did and where it's at.
Right. All right, guys.
I'm sorry. If you have a cabinet and you have those not often used things in your cabinet, maybe make yourself a piece of paper or something, tape it to the inside of that door so that you know where it's at if you're in an emergency.
Yep. You can get ginger crystal candy, had no expiration date, good for nausea.
No.
Oh, it is. Yes.
Okay.
I've heard I'm good for nausea.
Oh, I thought that was you caused nausea.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too. And AEDs are good if you can get them. That's each person, but especially if you've had an issue, I would think about it if you need to. So, all right, guys. Anything else? All right.
Not that I can think of now.
Huh?
I said not that I can think of now, but we said a lot to digest.
Yep. So thank you everybody in chat that's been in. Thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to everybody who has come and joined us, and thank you to you guys. Appreciate it every time.
Thank you. Yeah.
My brain can't handle looking right now. So if there is homework, I will forward it on to you for next week.
Thank you. Because I think you have given me either that or it's the pollen is really my allergies. Or I don't really have allergies per se, but the pollen is absolutely killing me. Either that or you have given me your gump through the phone.
Oh, I don't wish this on anybody because it sucks, actually. I'm here to tell
I don't
you.
want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. I'm fighting it tooth and nail.
I'm sorry. All right, guys. have a good day. Again, happy anniversary, my friends.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, from me and Joey. We appreciate all the happy anniversaries. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye.